Hi everyone, it's FCA, and this is Kidde Corner, and it's March. It's March 1st specifically, and in March there's a few little holidays, and of course the major holiday is St. Patrick's Day. So this is going to be there are some projects that are more anytime projects, just something for kids to do that are fun for them. And when I talk about children and projects for them, I'm talking about 2 and 3-year-olds. You can use all of these projects for older kids, but you take yourself out of the occasion a lot more with them. And then I have some projects that are specifically for the month of March that pertain to mini holidays throughout the month. There's not going to be any St. Patrick's Day things in this particular video. That is in another video that I decided to do separately, since the most well-known holiday for March is St. Patrick's Day. So I decided that deserved its own video. Let's just get into the stuff. And I'm going to start with the anytime things, just because I think that makes more sense to do. So the first project that I'm going to show you is a little less of an anytime. I did this specifically for when the Academy Awards or Oscars, they're the same thing, they just have a different name now. So I just cut out a little person. Like I said, you as the parent, or you as the teacher, you as the babysitter, you don't have to have a lot of artistic skill to do projects for kids. And I just let the children paint these. And if you've never seen my videos before, I'm a toddler teacher at a daycare, hence why I do all of these projects. This is, like I said, you just put the child's name, the award, which was the Oscars, and the year, and then you hang it up, and it looks kind of cute, and your kids will have fun painting and just let them go crazy with the paint. And you have yourself a little Oscars. And you could do the same thing for the Grammys if you're into those kind of awards. And whatever VMAs, whatever awards that you're into, you can mimic the basic shape and let your kids paint and have at it. Let's see, another anytime project. If you were to do a bunch of projects with books, like Dr.Seuss books, for instance. Like I said, we put the child's name at the bottom and the year, and you have their little handprints. So you can do this with paint or with construction paper. This one is made with construction paper. And you just you trace and then cut out the child's hand, give the fishies a little face with some bubbles, and you have the front of the Dr. Seuss book, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, or you can have the child paint their hand and put their handprint on like that. Warning, if you do the hand painting, make sure you watch the child if you want it to look similar to this, because otherwise they will just start crazily finger painting. So you got to keep an eye on that. But it is a cute little thing. My only qualm with this, this was a project that was done with the toddler's morning teacher. I'm the afternoon teacher. Is that the child really doesn't have too much of a hand in it, but it does look like something. It looks cute, and kids love having their hands and bodies traced with chalk or pencil or crayon. They think it's so cool to get to see their hand. And you could get them eye stickers and let them put the eyes on there, depending on how many children you have to work with. If it's just 1 or 2 of your own, or how many children you have, it's probably would be easier to control. Another anytime project that you can do is the dragon. So what you do is you just cut out the shape of a dragon on some white paper. Glitter, as it dries, gets continuously everywhere, so own a vacuum. But all you do is you start at the corner, and you can make a horn, start down, make a deliberate bump, make a horizontal line, and you can go as far or long as you want. Make another hump, make some random triangles, do it again at the bottom, and when you come back around to this, just make a triangle going down the other way, and then the head. If you don't have this, you can do a dinosaur or an alligator or crocodile. So the basic template of this, take away the horn and you have a whole bunch of other creatures that you can just go crazy with. But you just let them paint, add glitter, give them a sponge and dip it in some black paint, and they can make what looks like scales. You could use bigger pieces of like sequin glitter to make it look more like scales. And to do the fire is very, very simple. This is a go-to thing for me when it comes to children. Take some contact paper. So this is the kind that I use. Whenever I get up close, my lighting's gonna change, just so you know. That's not intentional or on purpose. I also recommend, if you're gonna use contact paper, since it always comes rolled up, to put it under a dictionary or something to flatten it out. And all you're going to do is just take the flat edge and then just make some very curved triangles. And instead of having a straight triangle, make the edges a little curvy, and it will look like haphazard fire. Then you just give your child or children tissue paper, and this is just what I do. I just rip it up into little bits and let them stick it on there. And as you can see, I used orange, red, and yellow for the flames, but you could just use all red or all yellow. It would all portray similarly, depending on what you have. I just happen to have all those colors. Now I have one more anytime project. And this is the coolest project by far. The marble painting project. This looks like one of those things that you would see in a museum that costs thousands of dollars at an art gallery or something like that. And you look at it and go, I think my 2-year-old could do that. Yep, they certainly can. This very cool effect is very simply achieved. And an actual 2-year-old did this particular one. All of the projects that are finished have actually been done by a 2-year-old. All you do is you take some Ziploc bags, put some paint in it, and then you use marbles. Put the marbles in individual bags, let them be colored, and then give all of the colored marbles to the child, and then let them just rub it around with their hands. For this particular project, excuse the background noise, for this particular project, you will want to give your child a smock or a paint shirt of some sort, or if it's at your own home and it's your own child, you can just take their shirt off and let them do it so that you can just give them a quick bath afterwards. But you will want some sort of protection for their clothing, and there's going to be some serious hand washing done after it. But this effect is so very cool, and they'll just have a great time getting the marbles and the sounds that they make. It will all entertain your child, at least for a few minutes. Now for the March holidays or smaller holiday related things. There's glitter everywhere. That's what I'm wiping off. March is National Popcorn Lovers Month or Popcorn Appreciation Month. All of the holidays have like appreciation or whatever names associated with them as well. But for the popcorn part, that is particularly simple. You just take a bunch of white paper, cut it into various shapes, which could be weird looking clouds as well. Let your kids paint them yellow. Give them some yellow paint, let them just put it on there, and then you can take some red paper and make it look like a popcorn bag and make it look like the popcorn is coming out, and the kids will think that looks cool. So if it's in your room or on your fridge or something like that, the kids will have fun looking at it, and it looks cool for other people to see too. And it's a quick project that will keep them busy for a minute. Like I said, not a lot of prep work on you, the non-child's part. It is also National Peanut Month or Peanut Appreciation Month. And so you just make a figure 8 and then take a light brown piece of paper or a dark yellow, light orange, whatever construction paper you have. And then you just make a large 8 and then just cut around it. But you will get a shape that looks similar to this. And then what you do is you give the child a sponge, which I don't have my sponge with me, but just one of those cheap Scotch Brite sponges. Just cut it into squares or cut it in half or something, and then dip it in some brown paint, and it will give the illusion of texture of a peanut on the peanut shape. So like I said, something very simple that children can do that will be recognizable for them. It is also 3.14. Pie. That's right, Pie Day is in March. Now, it is on Saturday, so if you have children at home, you can do this on actual Pie Day. But if you're doing it at a daycare that's not open on Saturday, you can do it on the Friday or time before Pie Day. But you just take and make a triangle, tape or glue or staple the end, the flat flap over, just so that it looks more like crust. And then let the child paint the middle to make the center of their pie. That's something simple they can do. You can also give them Play-Doh, and you can pretend like they're gonna make pie with it. They're probably just gonna squish it around, and you might wanna make sure they don't eat it. But this is something that is nice and simple, and you could also make this work like a pizza, whatever you want it to be, or cake. But for 3.14, which is the pie symbol, you can give if they're your own children at home, you guys can all make pie together and then enjoy pie on Pie Day. And they will get a kick out of it. That is also something that you can do with older kids. It is also March 11th. If I said May for that, it's not, it's March. March 11th is Johnny Appleseed Day. So I'm going to give my children, the most that I did was I took some white paper, cut out a small lopsided circle, a makeshift little leaf, and from the projects that I did with the peanut and the triangle or the pie, just use some of the leftover strips to make the little stems. Let your kids paint them red or green, yellow, whatever color, depending on if you have Golden Delicious or Granny Smith or Red and Delicious apples. And then once they paint them, you take a tree, a giant tree. This is what I'm going to do anyway. And then you can let them stick their apples. Just stick some tape on the back and let them stick their apples in the spot they want all over the apple tree and hang it up in your room or on the fridge. If you want to know how to make the giant tree, I will link you to the safari video I made for Kidde Corner, but it looks exactly how it's made. Took some green paper, made some bumps. As you may notice, that tends to be a theme with my creations for children. And you can also have them read a book about Johnny Appleseed and tell them a story and just kind of make a day of it. It's like, okay, we're going to read about Johnny Appleseed and then do some apple tree related things just to do some connectivity and get them involved, and you can make a big day of it. So those are my things that you can do for Kidde Corner for the month of March. Like I said, some of these are definitely anytime you just need a project for the kids. There's no specific theme that has to be followed with them. And the other ones, you know, there are holidays in March that you can celebrate. There's going to be another March holiday video, as I mentioned before, for St. Patrick's Day. And I hope that you and your kids enjoy these projects. Bye!